Hey everyone, and welcome to the Ultimate Explainer on CELPIP Writing Task 1. If you're gunning for those top-tier CLB 9 to 12 scores, you have landed in the exact right spot. Today, we aren't just looking at basic grammar. We're actually going to decode the exam's underlying logic. We'll be using a structured whiteboard-style approach packed with Canadian context vocabulary and structural templates. I'll be guiding you primarily in English, but we'll strategically drop in some Chinese, like highlighting crucial shenzhing, or traps to make sure these high-level concepts absolutely quick for you. All right, let's dive right in.
Here's our game plan for today. We'll quickly cover the CELPIP writing core rules, map out the email master structure, level up with high-scoring vocabulary and traps, look at the 4 exam scenarios, and finally, analyze some perfect sample essays.
Section 1. CELPIP Writing Core Rules.
Okay, before we can win the game, we gotta know exactly what the evaluators are looking for. Notice the strict parameters you're working within here. You've got roughly 53 minutes total. Task 1 is your email. Complaining, suggesting, thanking, or replying. Task 2 is your survey response. But look at that word count for Task 1. 150 to 200 words, with a suggested time of 27 minutes. Time management and hitting that strict word count, those are your absolute first non-negotiable hurdles. Going too far under or over is definitely going to cost you.
So how exactly are you graded? It boils down to these 4 core dimensions. First up, content and coherence. This means answering all the bullet points in the prompt. I literally cannot stress this enough. Missing even a single bullet point will result in a severe penalty, Yanzhong Kofun. Next is vocabulary, which is all about contextual accuracy, knowing exactly when to be formal versus informal. Then there's readability, requiring smooth logical transitions, not just awkwardly stringing together and or but. Finally, task fulfillment, which is where you get to show off your complex sentence structures.
Section 2. The email master structure.
Think of this as your universal template, a mental mind map you can apply to literally any Task 1 prompt they throw your way. It's a brilliant 6-step logic chain that guarantees high readability. Step 1, the salutation, setting the tone right off the bat. Step 2, the hook, stating your purpose clearly, something like, I am writing to formally express. Step 3, the evidence, where you detail the issue. Step 4, the impact, explaining the consequence of that issue. Step 5, the resolution, proposing an action or a deadline. And finally, Step 6, the professional sign-off. Sticking to this exact flow naturally builds a 4 to 5 paragraph essay. And let me tell you, evaluators absolutely love this because it showcases perfect structural flow.
Section 3. High-scoring vocabulary and traps.
All right, register control, or 语义控制, is the secret sauce to elevating your vocabulary from a basic CLB 5 to a stellar CLB 10 or higher. For instance, if you're resigning and need to mention tasks you haven't finished, a basic, kind of trap response might be unfinished documents or documents not finished yet. But an expert CLB 10 plus response, you'd say outstanding documentation or pending paperwork. See how that precise formal phrasing just dramatically elevates the professional tone? It immediately proves to the evaluator that you've mastered business English.
Section 4. The 4 exam scenarios.
If we look at the 20 most common exam prompts, we can actually categorize almost every Task 1 question into 4 manageable buckets. Bucket number 1 is complaints and disputes. The absolutely crucial point here is understanding the Canadian cultural context. Your strategy must be firm but polite, focusing on mutual respect or huxiang zunzhong. You want to avoid emotional rants at all costs. Instead of complaining, you are too noisy, use a CLB 10 phrase like infringement on my right to a peaceful environment. Instead of saying my apartment is bad, try uninhabitable living conditions. And when you need to demand action, use expedite the replacement process.
Moving on to bucket number 2, suggestions and requests.
The strategy you need here is ROI, return on investment. You've got to frame your personal requests as something that benefits the company or the community, creating a win-win situation, or huli gang ying. Don't just ask for a new staff lounge. Explain that it will foster a more cohesive and dynamic work environment. If you're asking for company-paid training, reframe it as a strategic investment in human capital. Want a schedule change? Pitch it as a way to achieve a sustainable work-life balance while maintaining top performance.
Bucket number 3 covers thanks, apologies, and invitations. Now, for apologies specifically, the biggest trap is making too many excuses. The high-scoring strategy requires deep sincerity, taking full accountability, and offering an immediate, actionable timeline for a fix. Instead of a basic, I'm sorry, Elevate it to offer my sincerest apologies for the oversight. When thanking a professor, you could say you're deeply indebted to your intellectual mentorship. And hey, if your dog ruins a neighbor's lawn, don't just say sorry. Say you will take full accountability and make full restitution.
The fourth and final bucket is formal affairs and applications. We're talking about things like quitting a job or asking a landlord for your security deposit back. The strategy here demands a highly clinical, objective tone that shows legal awareness and strict professional register. You want to lean on strong noun phrases and passive voice. For example, tendering my resignation to pursue new opportunities, or in accordance with provincial tenancy laws. If you're writing to a doctor, try something like requesting a formal referral for diagnostic assessment.
Section 5. Analyzing perfect sample essays.
Let's actually dissect some real CLB 10+ samples to see these tools in action. Listen to this golden sentence from a complaint about a leaky apartment ceiling. Specifically, the situation has exacerbated significantly. As a direct consequence of this inordinate delay, our living conditions have become increasingly substandard. Wow! Just listen how authoritative yet perfectly polite that sounds.
So why exactly does this score a 12? Let's break it down. The word specifically seamlessly introduces that evidence paragraph. Then we hit them with exacerbated, a fantastic advanced verb that completely replaces the basic got worse. Notice the nominalization, the noun-heavy structure in inordinate delay, replacing the super basic very late. The evaluator sees a crystal clear logic chain here, evidence leading to a direct consequence, which naturally prompts a resolution.
Now, what about a suggestion essay? Say you want to pitch remote work days to your boss. Listen to this opening. I am writing to formally propose a strategic adjustment to our current office attendance policy. This initiative would significantly enhance our operational efficiency.
This is brilliant because it immediately sets that professional register with formally propose a strategic adjustment. It doesn't sound like a selfish demand at all. It frames the request entirely around a corporate perspective and operational efficiency. The essay then goes on to use advanced verbs like empower employees, mitigate burnout, and enhance productivity. Pitching a flexible schedule as a tool for talent retention perfectly hits the critical thinking dimension they're looking for in the rubric. But what happens when you mess up? Check out this excerpt from an apology email regarding a delayed report. I am writing to offer my sincerest apologies for the oversight. I am currently conducting an exhaustive review and re-entering the lost data to ensure accuracy.
That logic chain is just flawless. Sincerest apologies for the oversight takes immediate, zero-excuse accountability. Then, dropping a phrase like exhaustive review demonstrates a proactive recovery strategy and a real commitment to quality. And instead of whining my computer broke, the writer cleverly used unforeseen technical complication. Replacing basic excuses with advanced technical phrasing maintains your high professional image even when you're flat out admitting a fault.
All right, before we wrap up, I've got a quick pop quiz for you. A real high-level exam trap, or 陷阱, is the word outstanding always a compliment? Think about it for a second. The answer is no. In a formal business or legal context, outstanding does not mean excellent work. It actually means unresolved, unpaid, or pending completion. So if you write in your resignation letter that you'll finish the outstanding documentation, you're telling them you'll finish your pending paperwork, your 未完成的文书工作. Evaluators are actively looking for this specific dual-meaning vocabulary to award those elusive CLB 11 and 12 scores. And that brings us to the end of our explainer. We've unlocked the master structure, navigated the cultural context, and armed you with some truly expert-level vocabulary. So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. What will your golden sentence be on your next CELPIP exam? Which advanced logic chain are you going to deploy to absolutely floor the evaluator? Keep practicing these structures, and I promise you'll be well on your way to crushing that test. Keep learning, stay focused, and I'll catch you in the next one.